The unexpected guest. The rain had been falling for 3 hours straight when Sarah Martinez first heard the gentle knock on her apartment door. She paused, her coffee mug halfway to her lips, and glanced at the clock on her kitchen wall. 8:30. On a Tuesday evening. Who could possibly be visiting at this hour? Setting down her mug, Sarah padded across her small but cozy living room, her slippers soft against the hardwood floor. The knock came again, more hesitant this time, accompanied by what sounded like a child's voice. Sarah's heart immediately softened. She peered through the peephole and saw a tall man with kind eyes standing beside a little girl who couldn't have been more than 7 years old. Both were absolutely soaked from the rain. "Can I help you?" Sarah called through the door, her voice gentle but cautious. "I'm so sorry to bother you," the man replied, his voice carrying a note of desperation mixed with embarrassment. "I'm David Thompson, and this is my daughter Emma. We're supposed to be staying in apartment 4B, but there seems to be some confusion with our reservation. The building manager isn't answering and—" He trailed off, and Sarah could hear the exhaustion in his voice. Sarah looked through the peephole again. The little girl was shivering. Her small hands clutched around what appeared to be a stuffed rabbit. The man looked tired, the kind of bone-deep weariness that spoke of long days and heavy responsibilities. Something in his polite desperation reminded her of her own father, who had raised her alone after her mother passed away. Without hesitation, Sarah unlatched the security chain and opened the door. "Please come in out of the rain," she said, stepping back to let them enter. "You're both soaked to the bone." David's relief was visible as he guided his daughter into the warmth of Sarah's apartment. "Thank you so much. I promise we'll figure this out and be out of your way as soon as possible. I just need to get Emma somewhere warm and dry." "Nonsense," Sarah said, already moving toward her linen closet. "The building management office won't open until morning anyway. You can't stand in that hallway all night." She pulled out 2 fluffy towels and handed them to her unexpected guests. "I'm Sarah, by the way. Sarah Martinez." Emma looked up at her with wide, curious eyes. "Thank you, Miss Sarah," she said politely, her small voice still carrying a slight tremor from the cold. "Daddy, she's really nice." David smiled at his daughter, and Sarah noticed how his entire face transformed when he looked at Emma. There was such pure love there, such devotion. It made her heart ache in a good way. "She certainly is, sweetheart. What do you say we get you into some dry clothes?" "Actually," Sarah interjected, "I think I might have something that could work as pajamas for Emma. My neighbor's daughter sometimes stays over, and she left a few things here." She disappeared into her bedroom and returned with a soft pink t-shirt and small pair of sweatpants. "These should be close to your size, honey." While Emma changed in the bathroom, David sat on Sarah's couch, running the towel through his dark hair. "I can't thank you enough for this kindness," he said. "Moving to a new city with a 7-year-old is challenging enough without accommodation mix-ups." "Moving for work?" Sarah asked, settling into the armchair across from him. She found herself genuinely curious about this polite stranger who seemed to carry the world on his shoulders. "Yes, I start a new position on Monday. It's a big change for both of us." David's expression grew thoughtful. "Emma's mother passed away 2 years ago, and since then, it's just been the 2 of us. This new job, it's important. It means stability, a good school district for Emma, a chance to build a real future." Sarah's heart went out to him even more. She knew firsthand how difficult it was for a single parent to navigate the world alone, having watched her father struggle with similar challenges. "I'm sure everything will work out," she said softly. "Sometimes the most unexpected detours lead us exactly where we need to be." Emma emerged from the bathroom, swimming in the borrowed clothes but looking much warmer and more comfortable. She had brushed her blonde hair and her cheeks had regained their natural color. "Daddy, can we watch TV with Miss Sarah? Just for a little while?" David looked questioningly at Sarah, who immediately nodded. Of course. I was just about to put on a movie anyway. Do you like animated films, Emma? The little girl's face lit up. I love them. Do you have any with animals? Soon, the three of them were settled on the couch, Emma curled up between the two adults with her stuffed rabbit, watching a gentle story about a lost puppy finding its way home. Sarah made hot chocolate with extra marshmallows, and David helped her prepare a simple dinner of grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup. As they ate, conversation flowed easily. David told stories about Emma's latest adventures at her old school, and Emma shyly shared her drawings with Sarah, who praised each colorful creation with genuine enthusiasm. Sarah found herself laughing more than she had in weeks, and she noticed David's shoulders gradually relaxing as the evening wore on. Miss Sarah, Emma said sleepily as the movie neared its end, do you work with computers like Daddy? Sarah smiled. I do work with computers, actually. I work for a technology company downtown. What kind of work does your daddy do? He helps people with their work problems, Emma said with the matter-of-fact tone children use when explaining complex concepts in simple terms. He's really good at making things better. David chuckled softly, stroking his daughter's hair. That's one way to put it, sweetheart. By 9:30, Emma was fast asleep on the couch, her small hand still clutching her rabbit. David carefully lifted her, and Sarah showed him to her guest room, which she had quickly prepared with fresh sheets and extra blankets. I'll sleep on the couch, David whispered as he tucked Emma into the bed. Thank you for everything, Sarah. Your kindness tonight. It means more than you know. Everyone deserves a safe place to rest, Sarah replied softly. Sleep well, both of you. The next morning, Sarah woke early and prepared a breakfast of pancakes, fresh fruit, and coffee. The rain had stopped, and golden sunlight streamed through her kitchen windows. David appeared first, looking rested but still slightly embarrassed about the imposition. The building manager called, he said, holding up his phone. Apparently there was a mix-up with the dates. Our corporate housing won't be ready until Friday. Well then, it's a good thing you have somewhere to stay until then, Sarah said, flipping a pancake with practiced ease. David stared at her. I couldn't possibly ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering. Sarah turned to face him, spatula in hand. Emma needs stability right now, and you need one less thing to worry about before starting your new job. Besides, she added with a smile, I could use the company. Emma bounded into the kitchen at that moment, her hair tousled from sleep, but her eyes bright with excitement. Something smells amazing. Are those pancakes? Over breakfast, Emma chattered excitedly about her first impressions of the city, while David and Sarah discussed local schools, parks, and child-friendly activities. Sarah found herself giving David a comprehensive tour guide's worth of information about the neighborhood, the best grocery stores, and the closest library. What company did you say you're starting with on Monday? Sarah asked as she cleared. The breakfast dishes. Meridian Tech Solutions, David replied. I'll be working as their new chief executive officer. Sarah's hand froze on the plate she was holding. She turned slowly to look at David, her mind racing. Meridian Tech Solutions was her company, her small, close-knit company where she had worked as a senior systems analyst for 3 years. The company that had been buzzing with nervous energy. For weeks about meeting their new CEO, David noticed her expression immediately. Sarah, is everything all right? I work at Meridian Tech, she said slowly, setting the plate down carefully. You're going to be my new boss. The silence that followed was filled with the sound of Emma humming softly in the living room, completely oblivious to the adult revelation unfolding in the kitchen. David's eyes widened, and then, unexpectedly, he began to laugh. Not a nervous laugh, but a genuine, warm sound of delighted surprise. Of all the apartment buildings in this city, of all the doors we could have knocked on, Sarah found herself laughing too, the absurdity and perfection of the situation striking her all at once. Emma was right yesterday. Sometimes the most unexpected detours do lead us exactly where we need to be. I hope this doesn't make things awkward at work, David said, his expression turning slightly concerned. Are you kidding? Sarah grinned. I'm the only employee who's going to know that the intimidating new CEO makes excellent hot chocolate and reads bedtime stories in funny voices. I think I rather like having the inside information. Emma appeared in the doorway, looking between the two laughing adults with curious 7-year-old wisdom. Are you friends now? She asked. David and Sarah looked at each other, both seeing the same truth reflected in the other's eyes. What had started as a simple act of kindness had become something neither of them expected but both recognized as important. Yes, sweetheart, David said softly, his gaze still on Sarah. I think we are. Outside, the morning sun climbed higher, casting warm golden light through the kitchen windows, illuminating the beginning of a friendship that would change all their lives in the most wonderful ways.